I
So
went
what
to my
was more nerve-wracking, that or your first gate drop in Supercross?
dude, that for sure.
I knew it.
Like,
I knew it. I knew
dude,
it.
I could not speak.
What's up, everybody? It's Dave Drakes with the Collective Experience, and we are back for another TCE interview. This week, I got somebody that I think you guys will be familiar with, and it's the one and only Tyler Enticknap. What's up, Tyler?
What's up? What's up, Dave? Good to see you, man. Long
Good to
time no
see
see.
you. I know, dude, right? It's been a minute, dude. Like, normally, I'm so used to running into you like almost every weekend in Supercross. So when we had this break, dude, it's like, it's weird. I don't like it. I don't, I
Yeah,
don't
I
like seeing my
know.
boys. You know
I
what I mean?
know. It's definitely like no man's land. Luckily, we have outdoors to keep us at
Yup.
bay, and there's been
Exactly.
some really good racing, 250 and 450
Yep.
class.
Yep.
So I mean, at least we've got that going on. I was actually super excited to see that the 250 SX Futures, they dropped a schedule for that. So
Right?
yeah, so that's gonna be interesting to see what they have, in store for us this year.
Yeah, dude, I'm super stoked on that. The fact that and I'll consider you part of the team. Like Feld and all you guys in Supercross. The fact that you guys are looking at new avenues to usher in that next level of talent the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's so freaking huge. Not to mention, I mean, it opens up Supercross for so many young guns that really need that stepping stone. So I think that's awesome, man.
Yeah, no, I think it's good too. And I like the direction that they're kind of going is solely focusing on that 250A amateur 250B kind of
Yes.
era. And
Yep.
because those kids, we really need to focus on our pedigree with Supercross and the
Yes.
amateurs coming up and just
Yep.
making that transition from amateur to pro
Yep.
a little bit tighter, and especially for these factory kids that are coming up that are already signed through their
Yes.
pro career.
Yep.
We need a stepping stone to get them familiar with tracks and just the whole atmosphere of Supercross, because you can tell like the European side with, Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, even Max Ansie's gone through it, the EMX series over there. They already have an amateur program that's set up, dude, that they race the races that they're going to be going to, year after year.
Exactly. They've got a really robust amateur, I don't want to call it amateur support, but like just amateur option for that next crop of talent to come through and, like you said, ride the same tracks, get used to the long motos, the rough stuff. I think that's why we're seeing the Europeans like coming over and just kicking ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everyone doing the MXGP series. So I think that's rad. But speaking of fostering, the next level of talent, dude, you are out there crushing it as a trainer right now, which I don't think many people know is that, like, racer turned commentator turned trainer. And dude, you've been killing it. You guys are knocking down titles, dude.
I know. I've been super fortunate. I actually ran into a family, the Williamsons, and they had 3 kids they helped out. Yeah. And I was fortunate, like, long story short, they just took care of me week after week. And I was just, I started, just building a program and building a good team of riders. Yeah. And they kind of all flocked together. And now I've been, pretty dialed in. And then I actually have a new venture. I'm building a track up in Reno, actually Fernley, Nevada. Rad. That's going to be hopefully like, this is long down the road, but it's going to be like a West Coast kind of MTF kind of thing where we're going to be able to like train year round. I'll be able to have kids to stay and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. That's what I've been working on. Like basically in between Mammoth and Loretta's, I've been flying back into Reno, but that's why the beard's so long. I haven't even had time to maintenance myself. So dude, just been grinding away. But no, I couldn't be stoked for my kids, Cole Farley, Jax Williamson. I've been helping out Ryder Ellis, Talon Hinton, Tyler Hinton, and Tyler Grove has been like my main core dudes where I train them week in, week out. And all of them are actually, making progress in their own way and really getting good steps to just becoming a good rider. Even, I'm not even focused on an amateur national level, but aesthetically and technique wise, they're leaps and bounds above like everybody. So I'm stoked.
Dude, when you focus on the fundamentals, a good example is Jet, Chase Sexton, Roxon. Those guys are like fundamentally perfect, and look at what they're doing. So the fact that you're doing that with such young kids, they're never going to have bad style. You know what I mean? They're never going to have bad technique. Their go-to is the perfect style, courtesy of Tyler Enticknap. So like that's pretty rad, dude. And the level of riders, dude, Ryder Ellis, he's a household name right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's
solid rider.
Yeah, you know, he kind of had a rough Loretta's, just with a few mistakes, and you know, just it didn't go the way we planned it to go. But he's actually getting ready to ride Ponca in the next month, and he's been a rider that's coming up. I'm really excited about. He's actually such an easy kid to train. He just listens so well. He does exactly what I say. If we can just get him off that rear brake, we'd be flying. But it's definitely a work in progress with him, and it's just been really good, you know, training that type of pedigree. And then I also have like Jack Williamson. He's like a top 10, 65, 79 kid. And then, you know, Talon Hinson, he won the e-bike class at Loretta's. And then Tyler Hinton, he got 6th and 8th in the 54-6 junior. And then Cole Farley, he was like in 2nd place in the C class, and then went down twice, you know, with like 5 laps to go. So all my kids are right there, just, you know, it's racing and just kind of making the transition smoother. You know, your parenting skills it's sometimes feel like you're just managing that whole relationship most of the time. But no, I've actually loved it, and it's super easy for me. I love doing it just because I've gone through the steps, and it's just so funny seeing how much these kids like matter going to Loretta's and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, chill. You're going to be back. Like, we have more racing to go. Like, you're just have fun right now.
Exactly. It's good to give them that perspective, because like, you know, dude, you've got years and years and years ahead of you. To them, they're in the now, man. They're all young. It's tough, especially when so much hype is put on Loretta's. But you were there. You said you were there for Loretta's for the week. We talked a little bit before we hit recording. You were at Mammoth. Which one do you think was like the most fun for you and your students to be at?
Dude, I love Mammoth. Mammoth is
Mammoth
is my bee's knees. I've been going to Mammoth, try to like, except for like my pro career where I kind of miss Mammoth every year just because of outdoors and stuff like that. Me and my family would go up there like for a whole week and like race and fish and hike and mountain bike. And there's just so much stuff to do. And like, Mammoth is definitely one of those fun amateur nationals where it's not too much about the business, and the racing's all broken up. What I really like. So like the 450, the 250s and the 450s are Thursday through Sunday. And then the mini bikes are midweek, and then the vets are the beginning of the week and stuff. So it's not right when you race, it's like bam, 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 bam. And then you're done. It's not like you have all these motos that you're going through and you have long days and stuff like that. So that's nice.
It's cool because like you can kind of develop the track around the size bikes that you are racing, you know what I mean? So you don't have these mini guys out there with like 15-foot braking bumps and stuff. So
no, hey, I would hate to be a 65 trying to race Mammoth on a big bike day. It was just it would be just grueling.
I'm all set, man. I'm all set. I think it's super cool to me that like you've taken on so many different ventures, because like typically when we see privateers like you are a stand-up privateer, you might be the exception, but typically we see them like, oh hey, I'm just gonna go back to work, just doing something, whatever the job is, working for a brand or labor, whatever it is. But you've actually been like, no, I want to take that step and like and do something more with it. You challenge yourself, and you wanted to do the commentating, and now you're doing the training and stuff like that, dude. I feel like you're a jack of all trades that like never stops. I feel like you and Addie are like that, dude. Like you guys just want to do everything, and you excel at it, which is crazy to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's cool, man. What keeps you wanting to keep progressing and pushing like that?
Dude, I ever since a young age, I just like getting better at different things, whatever it is. Like if I can get into it and I can get better at it, I'm gonna fall in love with it. And dude, I've honestly, I didn't plan this whatsoever to be like a motocross trainer / commentator / track builder / taking on my own facility. But I was thinking about this the other day, and I just take every opportunity, no matter what, even if I'm ready for it or I'm not ready for it. I'm going to get myself ready for it. Like, dude, I have no schooling education up until like high school, I graduated. I don't have commentating experience. I don't have journalism, a degree or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I do have, countless years of experience through two wheels and through motorsports. And I've been through it all. I've been through the injuries. I've raced Supercross. Yeah. I definitely didn't have a really good career in Supercross or as an AMA professional, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. I'm healthy. I can still work out every day and, doing good. But just with that experience and everything that I've been through, I just kind of sharing that knowledge, and all these opportunities just have came luckily just because the circle I know, and luckily I've created a lot of contacts and never burned bridges.
Yeah.
And dude, the commentating thing was awesome. Like, did not expect that whatsoever.
Yeah.
I was
so how did that start, man? Because like that was one day, like I don't think you really announced it even. Like when one day we just saw you up on the big screen, we were like, yo, that's our boy. You know what I mean? Like we were all just freaking out. Like how did that start, man?
So I started, thankfully one of my boys is Shane Doyle, and he works for Feld Media Crew. Yep. And he's been getting into a much bigger role. And I just got to give a shout out to Shane because he does it all. And we've been homeboys ever since TPJ, like we traveled back in there.
Yeah.
But that's how I know him. But I got hurt or whatever. I broke my navicular, so I couldn't go into like 2018 or 2019 Supercross season.
Yep.
And I was talking to Shane. I'm like, dude, is there anything you do? And they're like, yeah, let me think about a few things. And, lo and behold, they did the what's in the box.
Yeah.
And they wanted to do the questions and stuff like that. Like a lot of that stuff, I did it with every single rider. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that had to get trashed just because of COVID and just different things along the road. But there's so many like what's in the box and questionnaires and stuff that I wish that came out, because there's some gold in there. But in September of like 2019, I think, or 2018, I did the media day with all the riders and did all the questions, and they really liked what I did. And then they brought me back for Anaheim 1 because I was local. I was like, yeah, I'll help you guys out. Like I'll run media. I'll run the Snapchat down on trackside. And I'll do some like interviews with mechanics and wives and stuff like that on Instagram Live. And then they're like, okay, well, let's do the rounds you're local to, and we'll pay you X amount. And I was like, all right, sick. Like, let's do this.
Yeah.
So I do that for a few rounds. And then I think A2 comes around, and Seeley pulled out. Like, I think Seeley had to do something, or he had an obligation somewhere else. And Kat came up to me and was like, hey, do you want to announce tonight? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
So like the day before, like at like 7:00, Kat, was like, pulled me over. He's like, hey, do you want to announce tomorrow? I was like, yeah, what do you want me to do? She's like, oh, just, track analyst and do this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Just come into the meeting and we'll break it all down for you. I was like, all right, cool. And then I went to my
more nerve-wracking, that or your first gate drop in Supercross?
Dude, that for sure.
I knew it.
Like,
I knew it.
I could not speak like English,
yeah,
let alone do a clear thought in my head, Dave. Like,
yeah,
I literally thought I couldn't breathe. And then I have people like talking in my headset, and I didn't know how to touch volumes. I barely even knew how to talk back on the headset.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like they were super loud. So when I would talk, I would like hiccup because I would hear them, but the audience can't hear them. So like, and dude, and then I thought like the first time I was like speaking, they wanted me to speak about the VIP lounge. And there was like a whole list of like VIPs in there, like Pink and Carrie Hart and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And dude, they're rambling off names. And I think I got like a first name and like a last name of another person. And then like a first name of another person.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God. So,
that's wild.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. But the racing part was tight. Like it was tight, like announcing and giving my 2 cents. And Ashley and Dan Hubbard, and they do a fantastic job, and they made me feel comfortable. And I've been just trying to excel. And I just talked to Daniel Blair, and Feld has a announcing director and announcing teacher that I talk to every once in a while too, just to try to get better and just take as much notes. And I think I've been getting better. Like year 2 was definitely a lot better. than year one for sure.
No, for sure. And you know what's crazy is like, I think because like your personality is so polarizing and like so many people, like whether you admit it or not, like you have a brand around yourself, like your fan base is freaking stacked. I should know that better than anyone. And like I think like people like the hiccups that you're talking about, I don't think people realized it. They were just like, dude, that's Tyler down the track, that's sick. And like there's like actually like a real rider. Like, you know, I think a lot of people they associate privateers with the blue collar guys, the guys that really know the sport, that know the struggle, that fight and claw for every inch. And you know, that's pretty true. And I think like the fact that you were that guy giving his inside opinion on things, that made it more authentic. You know what I mean? As opposed to like a pampered factory guy who's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it's a different vibe. So no, that's sick, man. Like the fact that you did that, it was a scary thing, but you still kept getting better. What are some things that you continue to do to like be better at that? Because for me talking and then having somebody in my ear at the same time telling me what to say or giving me reminders, I would be like, yeah, hold on, TV, like, go ahead. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be super weird for me.
Well, I learned like there's just like setup points too that you can do with your headset. Like when you're talking, you can notice like my left hand, I'll like turn down to a certain volume. Like I like volume like 4 or 5. I can still hear them speak, but it doesn't trigger that off voice in your head to like stop and like let the other person speak. Because I'm not like my brother where I can just like talk over, you know, a class of talking people at me. I definitely am a little softer spoken in that sense where I'll let the other person speak. So like I just have to find that certain volume in my headset. And then even to this day, I like turn the volume down on like Supercross races, motocross races, and just try to commentate like a piece and just try to know the riders as much as I can and just, you know, just portray the riders of who they are and really just tell their story. And when they do comes to me, and then I have to break down the whip sections and the starting gates and stuff like that, where I actually write down pieces and try to memorize key points and structure it to make sense. So I don't kind of talk myself into a corner where I say something where I need to backtrack to say something else to make it to have it make sense.
Gotcha. So like when they're in your ear, like what are some like things that like they'll say? Is it like giving you points about like talking points, or is it like hey, you man, you're stumbling, or like what do they say?
So every segment that I do is down to the second.
Okay.
So from night show all the way to main event, we have our script that's minute to minute. So we either have to extend our piece or we have to cut it short. So they talk us down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on, and then you go on, and then they're like, all right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're out.
Okay, gotcha.
And then some segments, like sponsor segments and stuff, they just give us key points, and you kind of have to build a relationship, but it's cool. It's cool. It's super cool.
That's awesome. These are things that people they don't get a chance to like know that, you know, like how hard you guys were. They think it's just picking up a thing and you're just talking like, dude, it's a job on top of a job. You know what I mean?
Dude, so, I give so many props to like all the ESPN crew and NBC Sports because they have all those earpieces, but you can't tell because they have that clear wire. But every one of those guys has someone talking in their ear. That's like crazy. Throughout the whole entire thing, and they're just freaking knife sharp.
Yeah, that's ridiculous to me, dude. That's such a skill. That's like, to me, that's harder than like blitzing, whoops, and scrubbing. You know what I mean? Like, how do you develop that?
Yeah, no, it is. I seriously think it is, just because I'm not a natural talker.
Yeah,
but you know, writing's so singular. In a sense, when you get to that definitely higher level, all you got to do is focus on what's in front of you. And then when you're commentating, you have everything around you. And then you also have to look in a certain direction, look at the camera, and not have your eyes shift.
Oh, so, for sure. Yeah, that'd be hard for me. But moving forward, like, will you be back with the broadcast team coming up for this upcoming 2022 season?
Dude, I have no idea.
Gotcha.
No idea. I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah, I think.
But
see you out there, man.
I'm not too stressed about it. Like, everybody was super stoked on my performance last year, and they brought me back. I wasn't even supposed to do this year. But they called me back after round 1 and was like, hey, do you want to do it again? I was like, yeah, sure. Right. And then I flew out for the second set of Supercrosses.
Yep.
But I'll probably give them a call. I don't know, Mike Mewey, probably a call in like November, December, just to see what's up.
Yeah.
Just because I know they have a lot of stuff going on, especially they're going to probably look at NFL and see what they're going to do with this new strand of COVID.
Dude,
and just see how everything breaks down. So
yeah, this whole COVID thing, I'm so over it, dude. Like,
Supercross
was not the same with the COVID restrictions. And dude, hats off to Feld for even getting us like races. I know that was a scramble, dude, but like, I'm super grateful for them for even allowing us all to be there.
Yeah.
But man, it was
for what
like,
it is, they did a great job.
They did a great job. So I mean, just to have Supercross racing, but yeah, it was definitely a change. So yeah, that's the fact that you're doing all this stuff is super cool to me. I want to talk a little bit about watching your bro race in Supercross this year. Like, what were your thoughts in his season and how he's been riding lately?
Dude, I thought his season started off really good.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for that crash in Orlando, he turned a good page like right before Orlando, where he held off Brayton in that heat race to qualify straight into the main event.
Yep.
So I was super stoked on his progress that he's made. He made a lot of progress with the bike, and I think because a lot of people don't know that he broke his femur, and was just still coming back from that, and he was actually starting to click off some really good momentum through there. And if he didn't break his collarbone, I wish that we seen him without that break in Orlando 1 or 2 or something like that. I can't remember. But other than that, I thought he was riding good. And then he's actually getting on the bike. He was actually teaching at DT1. He was teaching my students back in California for me today. So he's been grinding away, and he's looking forward to actually doing a couple more years in Supercross still. So I'm stoked for that.
Oh, for sure, man. Like, and one thing I give you and Addy credit for is like the fact that you guys continue to like progress. So like you didn't just rest on talent or laurels or whatever. Like you guys were hungry every single year and kept getting better. And it's tough for like tall, big dudes. Like you guys look like linebackers. And the fact that you guys were out there racing with all these skinny dudes like the Marvin Moose can. And like, and putting in solid work, like, and every year you could see the incremental growth as the sport kind of elevated in talent. That I think that speaks volumes for just how much of a badass you and Adam are, man. Like seriously, man, because it's tough, dude. The sport elevates every year. How tough like boot camp becomes times X.
Oh my god,
to keep up, and you're going against guys that their bikes keep getting better and better. They're getting more and more money from factory side, and more support. And the fact that you guys were able to meet that, with not as much support as your counterparts.
Yeah,
it's incredible to me, man. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, absolutely. And dude, that goes to just the whole situation, just going back to knowing a lot of good people, and knowing like people like you, Dave. Like you made it happen for me a couple times. Like if it wasn't for the collective experience and that money, that extra money coming in and stuff like that, it just made it that more enjoyable and that much more comfortable for me to know that I have that money coming in at A1 or A2 or whatever round it was. That extra couple $100 definitely helps out, and the fans that buy out his music and then help us out, and just the people at home like Jim Castillo that let us use his Supercross track, was 15 minutes away from our house, where we're not paying $65 every time at Milestone or Lake Elston or something like that. It just made it that much more convenient to do our boot camp up there. And same thing with like my trailer to Taylor Selby, who never charged us a penny for training. We just had to promote him and make sure he had clients and stuff coming in. So it's people like you or like everybody else that just decides to help a kid or a guy that's just trying to make his dream happen. It takes a whole team.
Oh no, dude, 100%. I love supporting you guys, and like, man, I'm telling you, dude. Anytime you want to hop on the program for anything, dude, like showing people how to train, whatever it is, dude. It's such a blast having you and Adam in there, dude, and like the support from day one has been stellar. I can't thank you guys enough for the years of just being badasses in it, and dude, like so many fans loved it, man. Like you got to think we changed the game a little bit, dude, when it comes to like, you know what I mean, fan interaction. Like how much fun.
Oh yeah,
we had so much fun, man. So much
dude
fun.
I still see people from like people that have done the collective experience with me, like are still like this hardcore homies. And dude, there's a couple of times where I've had like the collective experience people like be on the headset on Team BWR and like, you know, help me with bike stuff. It was awesome.
No, dude, it's been absolute blast, dude, running the program. I'm excited to see what happens for these upcoming next couple of years as we, you know, expand and grow and stuff like that. What's the future look like for you, man? I feel like there's so much endless possibility for you out there. Like where do you want to see yourself down the road? Like what's some of the future goals and aspirations for you?
Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of dialing in right now. I'm trying to get this track up in Reno so I don't have to travel as much.
Yeah.
Because with training and stuff like that, I was traveling like freaking 3 hours one way, 3 hours to Glen Helen, and just like, you know, traveling. That was the only kind of bummer part. I was just, you know, spending a lot of time away in different people's houses, hotels, and just away from my girlfriend and stuff.
Yeah.
But hopefully I can get this track up and going and dialed in, and I have the clientele up here where I can stay and be based out of Reno, and then, you know, still do Supercross from January until May, and then just be running races and running amateur nationals and amateur qualifiers and holding my own events and having my own race series and my own boot camp and stuff at this facility that I'm making in Fernley.
That'd be super rad. And I can see that can go so far. You've seen the explosion of training camps, you know, over the last couple of years. I mean, there's
so many, dude.
Yeah, and they're so impactful, and having one in your area where I don't think that there's, I mean, not facilities period. I mean, they're that, but also like a really well prepped track. They're few and far between out there. So the fact that you got that going on, man, is just gonna bring in such a big clientele base. So that's awesome. Do you ever see yourself maybe making the transition to like maybe doing what you know, what Ricky does in the booth sometimes, or like, you know, maybe an old like Ralph Shaheen type role in the booth? Like, do you ever see yourself doing that?
Dude, I do, but me and Daniel Blair have talked about this. I don't know, like I'm gonna keep on getting better at commentating and just try my little butt off to just get as good as I can get. And luckily, you know, I have Daniel Blair that, you know, he shoots me a few gigs in here with like Glenn Sig and with the Arena Cross and Kicker Arena Cross and stuff. So I did a few shows for them last year. That was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so hopefully that just keeps on expanding. I can just keep on getting more experience and just keep better and better after year.
Yeah.
But I have to get really good at commentating and just, you know, keep on stepping my game up and getting just expand my vocabulary and just keep on executing and do my segments one at a time and just keep on nailing them. And I hope I can get to that level, because that would be bad fucking ass there.
Tell me about it, man. And like I said, you would have so much experience to draw from. It'd be crazy. For all the people out there that like want to hit you up or might want like some tips on training or might want to become one of your students, where can people find you and how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, no, for sure. You can hit me up on my training Instagram. It's actually Enticknap training. Actually just at Enticknap training on Instagram. I don't have a Facebook or anything. Just so hit me up on Instagram, or you can hit me up at Tyler Enticknap 723, or you can hit me up on usmcacoaching.org.
Rad. Okay.
So
cool.
I'm a certified coach through USMCA. Nice. So you can find me through there. If you guys are living in Reno or Fernley area, you can just put in your zip code and I'll come up as the motorcycle coach. So
that's awesome. And Tyler's stuff is going to be linked below, all right there. You said Enticknap and immediately just switched. Tyler's stuff is going to be all linked below. Not that we don't love Adam, but I mean,
yes.
So check him out. I'm telling you, any one of you guys or girls that are lucky enough to work with Tyler, guy's phenomenal. And one thing that I appreciate about you and the entire Enticknap family, you make everyone feel like an Enticknap, like family. So
yeah,
I'm sure that's one thing your students love about that. Ty, this was awesome, dude. I'm glad we got a chance to catch up, get a chance to find out what's going on with you, but some picking your brain a little bit about the commentary stuff. I'm looking forward to hopefully you being back in 22 and doing this again soon, dude. This is rad.
Yeah, sorry, I just got a phone call real quick.
You're good.
But yeah, no, dude, it was actually really good to be on. I haven't been on a podcast in a while. I just been kind of in my own world, just figuring out and just trying to make my stepping stones.
Working.
Yeah, grinding behind, grinding behind the mountain here.
Yeah.
So no, it was good to catch up, and I'll see you at Supercross for sure.
Oh, definitely.
And then we'll figure it out there. 100%. But hey, good talking to you, Dave.
Oh, absolute pleasure. If you guys want to get a chance to go behind the scenes and hang out with a professional rider for the rest of the outdoor series, be sure to check out thecollectivexp.com. This is your one chance to go behind the scenes and live an immersive, unparalleled experience where you get a chance to work with top teams in the paddock. You get a chance to be their VIP guest and kickstart your career in the industry at the Collective EX on Instagram. And if you liked this, be sure to hit the subscribe button, share with your family, your riding friends, and do us a solid. Subscribe, hit the button, gently caress the button, subscribe. You want to, and we need it. Tyler, this is dope, dude. And like I said, man, we'll do this again soon. And it was good catching up with you.
Hey, you too, Dave. I'll talk to you soon, bro.
All right, brother. Be good.
Later.